Hello everyone, this is Priya Lalwani and here we are doing Happen Over Coffee session with Dr. Shilika Lalwani. She is an endocrinologist and with carrying over 15 years of experience, and here we are going to understand all about diabetes, how much sugar should you intake, and should you take Ozempic to get thin, or it's just a medication for diabetes or your hormones. So hi Shilika, how are you?
Hi Priya, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm also great. So, as you are here with us, and there is something that is going on very trending, that is Ozempic. I would like to have a small introduction about this particular medication with you and when a particular person should use it.
Okay, so let me break it down for you. So, this you're talking about one particular medication and one particular brand. So, this comes under the umbrella of GLP-1 medications, and GLP-1 medications are not new to us. They have been in market for past 15 years, and Ozempic, which is the marketing name of the drug called semaglutide, it has been there for past couple of years now. And yes, it is a overrated trend, I would say, but it is also a revolutionary medicine.
Agreed.
So basically, it was developed for patients who had diabetes and especially type 2 diabetes, and it is a wonderful drug that helps blood sugar control. However, while the drug was being used as an anti-diabetic drug, previously we used to have liraglutide that is still available in the markets, and it is once a day injection. And even before that, there was exenatide, which was again a GLP-1 molecule that was basically isolated from a lizard.
Oh, okay.
So that's how GLP-1 medications came into practice, and they are really not new, but they have been a miracle for people who are struggling with type 2 diabetes. And
Okay.
like as we speak about the drug, it has been seen that the drug has shown significant weight loss in patients with diabetes, and hence overall improving their overall blood sugar levels and as well as diabetes control.
Got
So
it.
as we talk about it now, it has been marketed as weight loss drugs, and they have shown a very promising trend in the weight loss industry.
So, when we are consuming it, is it good for our health?
So let me simplify this in a very simple question. Like, if you have cancer, will you take treatment for cancer?
Of course.
Of course. So, when you have a disease, taking treatment for the disease is justified. But if you're taking it as a trend or something that is just everybody's doing it just to get into those size zero figure, then I would not recommend this as a go to therapy.
Understood. As and you are an endocrinologist, and there are so many people who are not aware of this particular term. What happens eventually is if people are having any, hormonal imbalance issues, they are seeking a gynecologist instead of, people like you. So, would you like to explain the term to the people and exactly what are your expertise in?
So basically, endocrinology is a branch of medicine, and it is a super specialization after completing your post graduation. So endocrinologists are some people who deal with hormones. So when you talk about hormones, it actually includes all the hormones, be it insulin, diabetes, which occurs due to either malfunctioning of insulin or due to insulin deficiency, be it like type 2 diabetes, type 1 diabetes, or even diabetes in younger children, or be it obesity, which is again a complex interplay of multiple hormones, I would say.
Okay.
And very common issues like thyroid issues. So, thyroid is again a gland in the body that
Agreed.
produces thyroxine hormone, and of course, something which we all hear almost every day is PCOS, which is now rebranded itself into something called as PMOS. So coming back to
Okay,
this
yeah.
PMOS, so now it has been called as polyendocrine metabolic ovarian syndrome. So basically, 70 years ago, the scientists thought that it is just a problem of ovaries, and hence all of us still think that PCOS is still a problem of ovaries,
Exactly.
and that has led a lot of people being referred to a gynecologist for the same. But I would also like to highlight that this is not just an ovarian problem anymore. It's not just a problem of irregular periods. It is much beyond that. So if you have something like ovarian dysfunction, insulin resistance, acne hai, so common, and excess facial hair growth and weight gain and mood swings. So this is not just a lifestyle disease anymore. It is
Agreed.
actually an endocrine problem.
Yeah.
So endocrinology includes hormones for everybody, right from your birth till the age where you're facing menopause or something
Great.
called as andropause even in men.
Okay.
Yes, so that's a term. So endocrinologists basically deal with all the hormone problems.
Nice. When we are talking about andropause in men, would you like to explain that term? Because I don't think many people are familiar with that situation.
So as your age advances, energy kam ho gayi hai, you're not working enough and you're just generally tired, and
Yeah.
so many people just blindly give that concept कि ये तो उम्र के हिसाब से हो रहा है,
तो
there's
क्या
nothing.
मेरी भी वो men वाली उम्र हो गई है? Because even I'm feeling that lazy every day, not feeling like, waking up, tired and everything. So yeah.
So like you said, in your case, I would suggest that most people who have such kinds of symptoms in their mid years of their life, in their reproductive years, so many of them have thyroid issues and they've not even had a screening for them. Second most common problem is insulin resistance that will ultimately make you feel lethargic, put on a little bit of
Yeah.
belly fat here there, and we feel that it is normal.
Exactly.
Sabka hai to we feel it is normal, but this insulin resistance is building up over the period of a few years, and then it shows up as diabetes.
Okay.
So that is why it is very important to fix your lifestyle in very early years before the actual damage has occurred.
Got it. And when we talk about PCOS, in which you are saying PMOS, it has become PMOS, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
PMOS.
So what exactly, like, people say that it can be cured after marriage, and it is clearly evident that after marriage, what is that one thing that we are doing? It is majorly because after sex we are getting it cured. So is it truth or a myth?
I think it's a pure mythology.
Okay.
So if you don't have a medicine for something and a young girl walks in with these endocrine issues and you don't have any solution for it and you're just handing her over a biodata from something like just get married.
Yeah.
So this is actually a myth.
So when we are saying about it कि हाँ we are giving a biodata to a kid कि यार चलो ठीक है शादी करनी है करवा देते हैं. Now when we are talking about it all, is it actually curable, the entire disease?
So, like we understand, it's a metabolic disease that is actually building up in your body over the period of years. So, fixing your lifestyles will give you a substantial amount of what we could call as a remission to the disease.
Agreed.
So there is nothing called as reversal. So if somebody is selling you कि मैं आपका diabetes reverse कर रहा हूँ, PCOS reverse कर रहा हूँ और thyroid reverse कर रहा हूँ, these are pure marketing gimmicks, and they are not actually worth the hype that they are facing.
So, as what happens is, if you are fixing your lifestyle for a while, then it actually reverse itself, right? Because I have seen among a lot many people who have, started getting a better lifestyle. They have kept, becoming better with their cycles and everything. So it happen, and when you, as soon as you shift back to your previous and not so regular lifestyle, and it again like not so a regular disciplined situation, then it again hits back.
Yes, so that is why I use the term remission and not reversal.
Yeah.
So by the term remission, it means that you are controlling the disease well within its limits without the need of any medicine to assist it. So basically, we are a generation who is, at the peak of their cortisol levels, chronically high stress, leading to chronically high levels of cortisol. And, this stress is actually a hormone trigger and multiple, sleepless nights
Of
that
course.
that comes along our way, and ultra processed junk food, I would say, and so less of the movement in our everyday lives.
Got
So
it.
we are being hit by all our lifestyle factors from all the directions.
Yeah.
And then we are expecting to have a normal hormonal rhythm in our body.
Exactly.
So that is the biggest fallacy in all the treatment modalities and all the quick fixes that they're offering, because they're not targeting your lifestyle. So
Agreed.
unless you target your lifestyle and you go back to your basics, back to your roots, and start living the way your elder generation, like our grandparent generation, used to live, we are not going to fix that disease completely.
Understood. Yeah. So when we are talking about it, I have seen people are taking over 21 days ka medication to, maybe renew the entire cycle and everything. Are these things like Primolute and everything like that, are these things helpful for it?
So basically, when a patient with PMOS or PCOS comes in, we also have to address what is the age of the patient,
Yeah.
what are the requirements of the patient. Suppose a young unmarried female comes to me with PMOS, that's a very different case scenario versus a newly married couple who's trying to conceive. So depending on what the patient requires, what are the requirements in that particular age of life or the phase of life, the treatments are offered. But these treatments, of course, are a support system to your existing lifestyle modification.
Of course.
So nothing can replace the lifestyle modification. Medications can help you go through, sail that boat.
Got
You
it.
know.
Yeah. So coming back to our previous question, as we understood a lot about PCOD, now I would like to understand again about Ozempic, about these medications that are actually for diabetes but helping people to get slimmer. So what is this trend? Are you seeing like people getting addicted, or just they are just following the trend to become skinny?
So basically, we are rebranding size zero as metabolic health.
Yeah.
So if you are consistently, wanting to use these medications just for aesthetic concerns, I would suggest this is just a trend. Don't fall for it, because this is an overrated
Yeah.
solution. But if somebody who's really struggling with certain health issues like pre-diabetes hai, PCOS hai, overweight, not exactly overweight, I would rather classify it as obesity.
Yeah.
So if somebody is really struggling with these issues, this medicine is actually a revolution.
Yeah, but
So-
what about social media? Is it actually developing a sense of anxiety or FOMO among people?
So I feel it's not the social media that is developing the sense of anxiety. It is just a 24/7 broadcast channel for it.
Yeah.
So the body image issues were already in place that the social media is now, promoting, and it's just a. I would say it's just like background में चल ही रहा है, and before you're scrolling from before after reels and this and that, do you even realize that is actually spiking up your cortisol levels in terribly high ways, and that actually is actually impacting your overall health and hormonal rhythms.
Agreed, and that's what I was about to ask. Ki how it is developing amount of stress, amount of cortisol level among people, and that is how they are entering into again more hormonal imbalances.
Correct.
Yeah. So here I would like to understand that what are the hidden crises, if we'll talk about this? What are the hidden crises that we can see?
Hidden crisis with the drug,
Yeah.
I think. So I think misusing the drug, to fit into your Met Gala dress or your bridal lehenga
Exactly.
in Indian terms, and it's a pause button. So basically, once you're using the pause button for considering it as a shortcut, and the moment that pause is removed, you
Yeah.
are inviting yourself a rebound.
Hmm.
So, and that rebound comes in very bad ways.
Agree.
So unless you fix your lifestyle, your drugs are not going to help you enough.
Of course.
So this drug, what I usually tell my patients, is basically buying you time to fix your lifestyle.
Got it.
So that is the cornerstone of the whole GLP-1 therapy, that your lifestyle needs to be fixed. So
Of course. So when we are talking about fixing the lifestyle, and I can see the people who are below 30 have the biggest lifestyle imbalancement issues. So what are the common problems that these people are facing?
So an entire generation with quick access to ultra processed junk, quick access to blue screens, and zero sleep, and extremely high levels of stress. So basically your hormones are screaming.
Yeah.
So basically your hormones are trying to tell you that please go back to your normal lifestyle, wherein you get adequate sleep, minimal amount of stress, and no screens or minimal use of screens.
Agree.
But this is practically a very difficult thing to implement.
Of course.
So these people are facing issues like something called as obesity,
Yeah.
pseudo Cushing syndrome, like we call. So pseudo Cushing's is basically extremely high level of cortisol in the presence of obesity.
Of course.
And again, use of alcohol promotes this kind of state. Thyroid issues have become increasingly common, and PMOS is again on the verge of explosion. It's like the next
Totally.
epidemic.
Totally.
Obesity is the current epidemic.
Okay. I did not know about it. Like people are these days trying to be so slim that I cannot see any fat personality. I should not speak this, huh?
No, I just feel that obesity is being under recognized as a disease.
Okay.
And you have to understand that it is a very common issue that people are facing. And there is medical help available for it as long as you're ready to fix your lifestyle.
Got it. And what about these crash diets and these like people who are trying to enter into any so much of changing lifestyle? Like agar jaise people say na that we are eating staple food that is helping us live in a best moment. Does sattvic movement is the movement, yeah, sattvic way is the way of actually perfect lifestyle?
So crash diets and sattvic movement are two completely different things.
Yeah.
So when you talk about diets like Atkins or diets like keto diet,
Yeah.
and other diets which are actually crash diets, so basically what you do is starve your body from essential nutrients, and then body reacts.
Of course.
So the way it reacts is just like any other sensible organ would react. It will start storing all the energy that it is getting in the form of fat.
Got it.
So basically, your body is into a fat storing mode,
Yeah.
and your metabolism is drastically lowered.
Of course.
So your body actually outsmarted you.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you were trying to lose weight, so you lose a couple of kgs and maybe a few 5-6 kgs, and then your weight is plateaued.
Agree.
And then you're not able to lose further.
Yeah.
Because now your body is into the energy saving mode.
Exactly. Huh?
Because in the process of this crash dieting, you were losing your muscle mass. So your body doesn't want to do that.
Agreed, totally. So when we talk about it all, I can see that there are so many influencers who are talking about either PCOS or hormones or stress, or even we can say these slimming medications. So what's your take on it? Are they actually misleading it, or they are trying to give some sort of information, or what's your take on it?
So basically, some influencers, I would say, are actually practicing medicine without a license, with a better lighting, with a better glowing skin in that lighting, and 2 million followers.
Yeah.
So once they have that credibility on
Yeah.
their account, it becomes much easier to trust them
Agreed.
versus a doctor who has been reading textbooks for like 15 years and trying
Exactly.
to help you with your life. So if you are blindly believing an influencer, I would suggest please check their medical degrees before you trust somebody.
Of course.
And of course, medical science is not something that you can learn over a period of 2 months or something like
Totally.
that.
Like I can see we have a lot many, criterias on financial influencers who are, asking people to spend any money. So there are so many rules and guidelines for them, but we do not have any rules and guidelines for the people who are recommending things related to medications and everything. So I totally do believe that there should be some guideline for that too. So when we talk about, when they are already slim enough and they are, getting paid to promote a particular medication. Again, we are talking about the Ozempic. So is weight loss is the situation that, Ozempic should be considered as a prescription for them?
So now with the latest DCGI guidelines, Ozempic is a prescription medicine. One thing. Second, the prescriber also should be an endocrinologist.
Okay.
Or a general physician for that matter, considering the number of endocrinologists in our countries is a very less number
Got it, huh?
versus the people who require it. So a bare minimum of a physician, but on a better side an endocrinologist.
Got it.
Beyond that, every other prescription is still not a medical legally compliant prescription.
Yeah.
So imagine the number of people that are using it over the counter, and imagine what would happen if God forbid, some health crisis occurs with them.
See, as we have been understanding the fact that, many celebrities are using it. Like we know Kusha Kapila, Ram Kapoor, even we are hearing that even Karan Johar has been using it. So is it actually, do we have any side effects of it?
So like I said कि medically indicated है तो लेना चाहिए, and once you're taking a prescription medicine with a medical indication, of course that makes sense. But if you're just doing it for the fad, you'll become a joke.
Exactly.
Then you'll have
Agreed.
Ozempic facials.
Yeah.
And they have a huge medical team backing them up. Unfortunately, you do not have that kind of
Exactly,
medical backup.
yeah.
So if something happens, you don't have a doctor who is going to take care of you if you have taken it in an unsupervised manner.
Of course. And when we are talking about, like modern age, modern era, I believe jo natural hormones that are actually getting, emerged here, are they like even possible to happen in this era?
I believe it is not that difficult
Yeah.
if only you fix your lifestyle.
Agreed. Huh?
I know it is easier said than done, but assessing your sleep quality, your sleep timings, and following simple things that usually are, told to us by our parents or even our grandparents. घर का खाना खाओ. How difficult is it to
Exactly,
carry
yeah.
your water bottle or your tiffin box with you? And most of the people of younger generations are too ashamed to do that.
Totally.
So,
I understand.
so they
yeah.
would want a pricey salad with a lot of dressings that contains a lot of sugar in it or preservatives in it, in the terms of fancy eating rather than carrying घर की रोटी सब्जी.
Agreed. Even I believe कि हम खुद ऐसा करते हैं ना, तो how can we ask our coming generation to actually follow the basic khana? So
So
yeah.
it is not that difficult, but it can be achieved.
Agreed. And what is that harsh truth that you would like to tell people who are actually willing to undergo weight loss?
So I would, and this might sound very controversial, that eat less, move more is not going to work. Okay. So that might be a good advice in a generation where no other confounding factors were present.
Yeah.
You know, but in today's generation, we have to also look and have a very honest conversation with the patient
Hmm.
that what are your goals, what are we
Hmm.
trying to achieve, and
Hmm.
why is it important to lose weight,
Hmm.
and what are the everyday life fixes that you're willing to make, and the changes that you're willing to make in your life
Hmm.
to achieve that level of fitness in your everyday
Hmm.
life.
Hmm. Yeah. So, any advice for a diabetic patient?
So the best advice is it's not just your blood sugar levels. It's also other factors
Hmm.
that compromise that consists your consist of your overall health,
Agree.
like
Yeah.
your blood pressure, your everyday meals, your cycles, your exercise
Hmm.
routines,
Yeah.
and all those things. And most importantly, if you are a diabetic,
Hmm.
get each and every family member of yours to be tested for diabetes.
Okay. And any precautions for thyroid patients?
For hypothyroidism, I would just tell that it's not always your laziness. You know,
Yeah.
half of the India has it. Half
Hmm.
of them doesn't. They don't even know that they have hypothyroidism.
Yeah.
And the ones they do, they just blame things on laziness है,
Hmm.
nature ही ऐसा है, and hair fall तो हो रहा है, and things
Hmm.
like that. So take a proper endocrine consultation if you are facing any symptoms like this.
Hmm.
Don't self-medicate yourself,
Exactly.
and don't stop taking medications once you're feeling okay. सर्दी खांसी जुकाम नहीं है
course.
कि 5 दिन tablet लिया and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so some things need to be replaced
Hmm.
for the rest of your life. So the
What I believe is when you have any hormonal issues, actually visit endocrinologist instead of just going to regular doctor or instead of just going to any any gynecologist, I believe,
or
right?
googling your symptoms.
Yeah,
Worst.
Googling. How are you all managing that situation when people, are being very much extremely aware about about anything which people say extreme knowledge is also harmful.
So I would say that even with the most well-read people that come around, their level of knowledge, even though I feel it's a good thing that they're aware about the disease,
Yeah.
and they're actually conscious enough that they are looking up to Google or to
Agreed.
ChatGPT or whatever tools that they're using to know. So
Yeah.
I feel at least they're a little bit more aware of the disease as
Yeah.
compared to people जिनको पता ही नहीं है.
Agreed.
So explaining things to them, and in this way, what I feel is thoda educated है patient, तो you talk to them, honest conversations.
that too,
You
yeah.
tell them what is really going to help you and what is not. And I
Hmm.
feel that most of the patients do understand what a doctor is trying to tell you. So initially, when a patient Googles all the symptoms, 5 minutes I feel annoyed, but then I also feel good that they're at least aware about the disease. So
Totally.
at least they made an effort to look about it and read something about it, and they
Yeah.
at least have come prepared with some of the medical jargon that I'm going to use with them.
That's actually great to hear from you. And now we have a small rapid fire session where we have 12 questions in 90 seconds for you. So, are you all set with that? So, let me start with the first question. Ozempic, overrated or revolutionary?
Revolutionary drug, overrated trend.
Nice. And biggest hormone killer?
Stress,
Is
the
it?
worst of all.
One food you would ban instantly?
Diet, colas.
Is it? I love Diet Coke. ठीक है, PCOD, lifestyle issue or medical condition?
It's a medical condition.
Sugar
Of
or
course.
stress? Which is more dangerous?
Stress. Anytime stress.
Most understood hormone disorder?
I think most
Misunderstood. Sorry,
hormone
misunderstood.
disorder, hypothyroidism,
Okay. One wellness trend you hate?
detox teas. Because your liver is anyways detoxing your body. You don't need a fancy 2000 rupee label and a cute label detox tea to detox your liver.
Nice. And morning walks or gym?
Morning walks. Because cortisol is very high in the morning hours, and a brutal gym session would just kill your cortisol spike.
Okay. Biggest weight loss myth?
Eat less, move more. That is the biggest
Sleep.
myth.
Sleep or diet? More important.
Sleep.
Why?
A beauty sleep. Because irregular sleep cycle can actually mess with your diet and hunger hormones very badly. So
Got
even one night of lost sleep does a disaster to your body.
How many hours of sleep in a day?
8 hours, I believe.
Nice. One blood test everyone should do yearly.
Fasting insulin. Most underutilized test, I feel. Not even blood sugar. Of course, blood sugar, most people know that we should get it tested.
Yeah.
But fasting insulin tells you whether you've started developing insulin resistance.
Your most controversial health opinion.
BMI is actually medical astrology.
Okay.
So you feel BMI will tell you everything, but we have it tells actually nothing about your body, and we have actually built entire medical protocol around BMI.
Okay.
So I feel that
Tea, coffee, or green tea for surviving hectic clinic day.
a black coffee before 4 p.m.
One health habit you wish everyone should follow.
I feel regularly visiting your doctor with your annual blood reports.
Okay. Most Google symptom patients panic about unnecessarily.
PCOS, I feel.
Cheat meal you never say no to.
Pani puri. Because it's a flavor bomb. Suddenly enlightens my senses.
Yeah. And sleep early or scroll endlessly at night.
Of course, sleep early.
One fitness trend you secretly dislike.
Detox teas.
Of course.
It's we spoke about.
Most common excuse patients give for not exercising.
Time ही नहीं मिलता, madam.
So me. One word your patient would use to describe you.
I think patients tell me that I'm very relatable to them, so very approachable.
Nice. And describe your personality in just 3 words that should be non-medicals.
Happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
And a loving mother. And I think some bit of me is artistic.
Nice. That's amazing round of session with you. I think I included everything, but if you would like to add up something.
I would just give one message to everybody is first and foremost, know what is happening with your body, listen to your symptoms, and then choose an appropriate doctor to
Agreed.
address your symptoms.
Yeah.
And if you don't reach the proper person, you might end up feeling that nobody is listening to me and my problems are not being addressed.
Agreed.
So if your problems are not being solved, don't just ignore it in the name of age and normalize things which are not normal.
Yeah.
And of course, visit a specialist to see whether something can be fixed.
Agreed, totally. And that's a really good message for our audience. And that's all from our end. Thank you for, giving so much of good opinions and educating our audience.
Thank you so much for having me.